Hello YouTube. The cartridge converter fountain pen has been the mainstream design for quite a long time. This time we'll have a closer look at it. Beyond the eyedropper pen, many self-filling mechanisms were devised to enable the pen to pull ink from a bottle into itself. However, some designers wanted to go even further by eliminating the ink bottle altogether. The idea was to have disposable capsules pre-filled with ink at the factory. It's plugged into the pen instead. So these capsules are called cartridges for good reason, and it's the same working principle as shotguns. The spent cartridge is removed and then replaced by a fresh one. The first really successful system was devised by Eversharp and was made by Parker as the 45, who also made a small quantity of Eversharp branded examples. While I no longer have any 45 or Eversharp today, modern Parkers carry on using it, and the Lamy Safari follows the exact principle. Inside the section is a cylindrical plug with ink channels for the feed at its end. This plug opens up the seal at the socket end of an ink cartridge, well here I'm using an empty one for demonstration, by piercing through it, and the ink flows into the feed by capillary action. This means that if the pen is empty of ink, it would take a little while for the ink to make its way into the feed to get the pen started. Like the 45, the inside of the Lamy Safari barrel and the size of the cartridge are matched. When a new cartridge is loaded, its socket has to be pressed into the plug, but here the action of screwing the barrel home is for that purpose, as the end of the cartridge is supported by the inside of the barrel. This means that the cartridge is held in position securely. This also explains why Safari is fitted with a cardboard collar when bought new. The idea is to prevent the barrel from screwing home and getting the cartridge pierced open. Of course, there are many pens designed without this consideration, so the cartridge is sort of just holding on by the connection between the socket and the plug. Obviously, a lot of other pen makers created their own plug, socket, and cartridge size standards, and they're not cross-compatible. However, one of the standards, usually called International Standard, has been adopted by quite a number of European manufacturers. The International Standard cartridge has two forms, the long form and the short form, but the short form is more common. A number of pens using the short form have an extra trick. A second cartridge turned around can be fitted into the barrel as well, like this. And the combined length is just right to pierce the one at the front, and getting it all well supported. So when it's exhausted, the backup one can be switched to the front and ready for use again. For pens using their own cartridge standards, the choice of ink tends to be comparatively limited. After all, they want to sell their own inks anyway. As international standard is more widespread, some independent ink makers also sell their inks in cartridge form as well. When Eversharp developed the cartridge loading system, they also thought of those wishing to use bottle ink as well, or other kinds of ink not available in cartridge form. So they invented the converter, which converts a cartridge pen into a regular pen that fills from a bottle. Please note that there's a tendency for some people to call any ink filling system as a converter, but that's sort of incorrect. A converter is, of course, made to simulate a cartridge in terms of socket fitting, but with some sort of mechanism for pulling ink in. Most are either squeeze fillers, syringe, or a helicoid piston inside the cylinder. Quite a lot of people use converters exclusively, so a huge variety of inks can be used, but some people refilled ostensibly disposable cartridges with ink, using a syringe or something similar. As a side note, there are also some pens which seem to be cartridge converter pens, supplied with detachable converters. However, the fitting can be so odd that no compatible cartridge has ever been made. While they are, to all intent and purpose, cartridge converter pens, they're really regular pens with detachable filling mechanisms, really. I hope this is of some interest, and I'll be back soon. Bye for now.